Stewart Swerdlow for Expansions.com, and this is my news video from May 3rd, 2011. As you all know, you've heard about Osama bin Laden being attacked by helicopters by U.S. Teams that dropped in over the suburb of Islamabad, shot him, took his body, put it in the helicopter, and gave him a burial at sea in the Muslim tradition. But of course we all know nowhere in the Quran does it have anything about a burial at sea. And then the government said that they wanted to avoid any people using his body parts for martyr issues or for worshiping him and that kind of a thing. But then you look into it a little more deeply and you find out that back in 2007, Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan who was assassinated a few years ago, had done a speech where she says she knows that Osama bin Laden actually died back in December of 2001 from kidney disease, diabetes, and blood pressure issues. Now here was a man who was extremely ill and actually needed dialysis. How could he have possibly hidden in the rugged mountains of northwestern Pakistan for so many years when he needed dialysis and medications? Sooner or later, he would have had to come out to some medical institution where he would have been treated. So the fact of the matter is, the reason his body was disposed of so quickly was because there really was no body. It was a staged event. And just like 9/11 was, and just like everything else you see on the news, it is all for public consumption. But this time it was really blatant. Within hours of his so-called assassination, he was dumped at sea. Reminded me of what happened with JFK Jr. when they spent so much time looking for his aircraft when they knew exactly where it was. Then they picked his body up off the bottom of the Long Island Sound, did an autopsy on board a vessel, then put him back down into the water. No body, no evidence. So very interesting. Same thing with the body of Adolf Hitler that they supposedly found burned in Berlin after the war. Skull was taken back to Russia, and the rest, we don't know what happened to it. And then all the years later, we find out the skull is of a middle-aged female, couldn't possibly be Hitler, and we realize he escaped and went to South America. So all of these mysterious deaths are really all staged for public consumption. Don't believe anything you hear about the Obama-Osama drama, because it is all created. And you know what? They're starting to need a little bit new writers. They're making a lot of mistakes, and I know a lot of the people out there believe everything they hear, but sooner or later it's going to come out that he died almost 10 years ago, and this was a staged event. Now, even with Saddam Hussein, his body was also destroyed, no evidence of it anywhere. Everyone that they want to manufacture, these created so-called evil leaders that they then have to remove from office, they all vanish without a trace. I think Muammar Gaddafi should be a little bit worried right now, because obviously he's going to be next. Get rid of Hussein, get rid of Muammar, get rid of Al-Qaeda leaders. Then we have no more global enemies. We have to create a new global enemy. Here come the aliens in the staged alien event. So be prepared for that really in the next few months. One other note I want to make here, and that is there have been moderate earthquakes in the El Paso, Texas area. There are no known fault lines in that location. They're both on the Mexican side and on the Texas side. And from what I read this morning, some reports from geologists, it's very likely this is a precursor to a much larger quake event in the El Paso area. So if you are in that location, be prepared for something that may be coming. Also be prepared, according to the government, for serious retribution and retaliation attacks on the U.S. and its citizens, both here and abroad. So it will be a little bit dicey going out and traveling for the rest of 2011 and maybe beyond. So keep in mind your protection techniques, your deprogramming, keep yourself in good order, and come join us at Expansions events online and in person. Until next time, this is Stewart Swerdlow for Expansions.com.